about last week about how God is a participation God. You know, sometimes we forget that. Sometimes I was talking to my wife yesterday, and we're having a conversation, and I think some of my kids too, right? You guys were in the car, and we were talking about how God is a participation God. Sometimes we forget that. We forget that God uses things in our life to do what he needs to do in our life. Sometimes we want God to be just passive. We want to float on a raft and just let God guide us. And God's like, no, I'm giving you paddles. I'm giving you the boat. I'm giving you the paddles so that you can use what I've given to you, so that I can give you the wisdom so that you can use what needs to be done. You see, we forget that. We forget that Jesus, when he healed the blind man, we forget that he went and spit on the ground. We forget that he went and he grabbed some mud and he put it on the eyes of this man. See, Jesus didn't have to do that. He could have said, see, but he didn't. Why did he use the mud? He just did. He participates. He shows us. See, there was another time God healed a man who was blind. He says, what do you see now? He says, I see people like trees. And then he says, what do you see now? He says, now I see everybody. You see, there's a purpose God does and uses things that we have. Like in a rock that water came out, God uses 5 loaves and 2 fish. And he could have meant, you're done, you don't need anything else. God used the hem of the garment to bring healing to a woman who had an issue of blood. Amen. God uses things. We can't just get on our raft and say, okay, God, do whatever you need to do. God's like, pick up your rod. Pick up your staff. You got to ask. You have not because you... Somebody shout it out. Turn to your neighbor and say, start asking. Start asking. Start asking. We forget to ask. We forget to say, God, I need this. We forget. We forget the one who's able to provide. Ask. Jesus says, ask and you shall seek and you shall knock. And well, doesn't God have a peephole? Can't he see him at the door? Yeah, he's waiting for you to knock. Some of us, we don't want to knock. It might hurt my knuckles. Knock. Knock. Keep on knocking.